Good Monday morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We have some pleasantly mild conditions across the valley this morning, and the news starts now.
Determined, dependable. This is WAFF 48 News Today.
Millions of people watch as the 2002 Winter Olympics come to a close in Salt Lake City. We'll have a wrap of all the games.
And a man is arrested after stealing a car with a baby inside.
And hundreds of firefighters honor those killed in the September 11th terrorist attacks in a very special way. These stories and more for Monday, February the 25th, 2002. Good Monday morning, and thanks for waking up with 48 News Today. I'm Lee Marshall.
And I'm Cliff Hill. It's going to be a great day. Let's get it started with a trip to the Weather Lab. That's where 48 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Tomlin has a look at today's forecast. Morning, Brooks.
Good morning, Cliff and Lee. Good morning, everybody. We're starting off this morning in the 40s with not with clear skies across the valley. We have one final day, and that's today, until the major cool down takes place. Temperatures this morning rise nicely, 50 degrees by 9, 61 at 11. We'll top out today right near 70 degrees with some warm south breezes. Now, as we head overnight and into tomorrow, get ready. Old Man Winter is back, and he's got an attack along with him. More on that in just a few minutes. Lee?
All right, thank you, Brooks. 5:01 on your Monday morning. Your top story this quarter hour. After years of planning and weeks of triumphs and some disappointments, the 19th Winter Olympiad is now officially over. Tracy Potts has more from Salt Lake City with a report on last night's closing ceremony and the final competition.
Magic moments, new heroes, and old. The 2002 Winter Games end with a sense of accomplishment like never before. In a world threatened by terror and war, these games went off without a hitch.
Well, Olympians and people of Salt Lake City, we did it.
Weeks punctuated by triumph and disappointment. 34 American athletes will go home with medals, more than ever before. Last night, winners and losers of 78 nations celebrated together, along with NSYNC, Bon Jovi, Gloria Estefan, and others. The last day was not without trouble. 3 athletes tested positive for drugs. 2 were stripped of their gold medals, Johan Muleg of Spain and Larissa Latutina of Russia. The U.S. men's hockey team lost its final match against Canada. For the Canadians, it was a victory the nation had been waiting for 50 years.
I now declare the 19th Olympic Winter Games closed.
The theme of these 2 weeks, light the fire within. And as the flame was extinguished, the duty of hosting the next Winter Games was passed to Italy. Salt Lake City, a long-awaited event that's now history.
Now that the Olympics are over, another big job begins, getting everyone home. The Salt Lake City Airport is expecting 74,000 travelers today. They're advising people to be there 4 hours early. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Salt Lake City.
Glad I'm not flying out of Salt Lake City today. The world's best athletes will come together again in 2 years for the Summer Olympics. Those games will return to the 1896 birthplace of the Olympics, Athens, Greece. Then the next Winter Games will take place in 2006 in Italy.
Well, security was stepped up for the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. Officials weren't going to take any chances that could put lives in danger. Part of the high-tech security came from right here in the valley. This is the Redstone Arsenal Tactical Air Defense Radar, known as Sentinel Radar. Helps find field commanders recognize enemy aircraft in the area. Then it passes on targeting data to a weapons system to shoot the invaders down. 2 Sentinel radars were used at the Olympics. And the 441st Ordnance Battalion from Huntsville was also in Salt Lake City for the Olympics. Soldiers were there to patrol the streets and venues through closing ceremonies with the support of federal agents. Security for the games cost an unprecedented $350 million.
Now back to the valley. Huntsville police want local residents to take extra security precautions when they shop. The number of robberies in store parking lots is rising. Saturday, one woman was robbed by 3 juveniles at the North Parkway Kmart. It's the second robbery there this month. City police say that teen offenders, usually males, are primarily targeting women they see carrying purses. Huntsville's the North End proves to be the most common location for these crimes. Earlier this month, 78-year-old Naomi Talley was robbed and beaten in the same Kmart parking lot. Those teens have since been caught, but she's prepared for the next time someone tries to rob her.
And they prey on older people. You know, they see somebody older coming out, they feel like that they can't defend themselves. But I think I will defend myself a little bit better next time because I've got the pepper spray and I'm carrying a little cosmetic bag. It's got a handle on it where I could take, and I think I could knock them in the head with it.
Better leave her alone. Here are several tips police recommend when walking to and from a store parking lot. Carry as little as possible. If you do carry a purse, keep it closely guarded. If you're shopping at night, park in a well-lit area. And trust those instincts and be aware of your surroundings at all times.
An 18-year-old man could face more charges after allegedly stealing a car Saturday with a baby strapped in the front seat. Police say Emmanuel Rotrell Moore took a car that was left running outside an apartment complex on Bob Wallace Avenue. Investigators tell 48 News that Moore drove around town with an 8-month-old baby girl in the front seat for about 3 hours. Later dropped the baby off at Walmart on University Drive. She was not injured. Moore was arrested a short time later. Right now, he's charged with theft of an automobile.
A Florence man remains behind bars this morning after an attempted bank robbery at Bank Independence Saturday. Police say 57-year-old John Atkinson passed a note through a drive-through teller demanding $10,000 in cash. He never showed a weapon during the incident, and he never got the cash. The police were able to get to the bank in time to arrest Atkinson in the drive-through. He's charged with robbery and theft. He's being held on a $55,000 bond.
Alabama native and CIA agent Mike Spann was honored Saturday in Huntsville. Huntsville flight stopped play Saturday night to honor Mike Spann. Mike's father and sister, John Spann and Tamara Donovan, were there to accept the Heroes Among Us plaque in Mike's honor. Spann was killed in Afghanistan during a prison uprising last November. U.S. officials say Spann was last seen talking with John Walker Lynn, the so-called American Taliban, before the uprising. Now Lynn faces charges of conspiracy to kill fellow Americans. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Spann was buried with full honors in Arlington National Cemetery. His hometown is Winfield, Alabama. Jackson County family has finally learned the fate of their son who was fighting terrorism abroad. An Army official notified the Fashi family this weekend that their 25-year-old son Jeremy had been killed in the line of duty. He is among those presumed dead after a helicopter crash off the coast of the Philippines Thursday morning. Recovery crews are still searching for the area for the remains of the 12 soldiers. Family lives in Pisgah, that's in Jackson County. It is 7 minutes after the hour, 41 degrees outside. One U.S. soldier is dead and another is in serious condition after being shot by a North Carolina police officer over the weekend.
That story tops our look at Nation View this Monday morning. The two soldiers were shot Saturday afternoon by a Moore County Sheriff's deputy about 25 miles from Fort Bragg. That's where the soldiers were stationed. The soldiers were taking part in a role-playing exercise. The shooting happened when the sheriff's deputies pulled over the soldiers. The soldiers were wearing civilian clothes and riding in a vehicle driven by a civilian. Now investigators are looking into what prompted the deputy to draw his weapon and fire. They also want to know if Fort Bragg officials notified city authorities about the military exercise. So far, no charges have been filed against the sheriff's deputy.
Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge says he'll release details of a new national terrorism alert system in about 2 weeks. He also told governors they'll be given better information about terrorism threats and countermeasures. Ridge recently visited New Mexico to see equipment to be used in the fight against terrorism. Ridge says it is best to be prepared should threats of mass destruction come to fruition.
Chicago area firefighters honor those who died at the World Trade Center September the 11th. More than 350 firefighters in full gear rushed up the 42 flights of the John Hancock Center skyscraper Sunday. Normally the Chicago event is a fun run, but Sunday the mood was much different. Officials say many firefighters were in tears when they remembered America's loss. The run is an annual benefit sponsored by the American Lung Association.
Recovery crews are expected to return to a Georgia crematory today after taking Sunday off. We'll update the number of bodies recovered coming up.
And the Huntsville community comes together to remember Black History Month and honor breast cancer survivors. When 48 News Today returns, we'll take you to a busy events over the weekend. But first, here's Brooks.
Enjoy today, and major changes are on the way in your forecast. Is next.
Now, weather with Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Tomlin.
All right, good Monday morning, everybody. We're starting off right near 40 degrees. We have clear skies outside this morning, a few south breezes, and those south breezes are going to continue today. Help us warm up. Let's go with it. 70 degrees, our forecast high. Winds coming out of the south 5 to over to sometimes 15 miles an hour, maybe a little gust higher than that. Nothing too major, partly cloudy skies, which means we'll see plenty of sun today, and that's what's going to help us get up to near 70 degrees today. But folks, major changes are on the way, and they start overnight tonight. The winds turn southwest just ahead of this major cold front. Cloudy and windy tonight. Rain starts to enter. We'll bottom out in the low to mid 40s with gusty southwest winds. Outside right now, we're all pretty much near 40 for most of the valley. It's 40 in the Shoals, 41 Huntsville, 43 Tupelo. Eastern sections, you have calm winds. That's why you're at 30 in Gadsden. The calm winds and clear skies extend all the way to the Atlantic coastline, 30 in Wilmington, 29 in Columbia. And just back to the west, 52 degrees in Memphis. They have some clouds. They also have some strong south winds. Here's a satellite perspective, and you can see right now we have predominantly clear skies across the valley. A few clouds around Memphis, more clouds just back to the west. And here's the forecast, folks. Today, again, partly cloudy, strong south winds really come into play overnight tonight, south and southwest, but there'll be warm winds for today. Back to the west, this major cold front comes in overnight tonight, and what it's going to bring tonight, wind and rain, and then for tomorrow morning, we could see some flurries, maybe even some flurries through the afternoon hours. No accumulations are expected, maybe, except for only maybe in the higher elevations like in Jackson County and Franklin County, but we're going to be cloudy with cold winds blowing tomorrow. I'll tell you what, wait till you see the 7-day forecast. Highs today, though, not too bad, right near 70 in our neck of the woods with south winds blowing throughout and partly cloudy skies. Overnight tonight, we'll bottom down in the low 40s. And take a look. We don't warm up hardly at all. Going with a high tomorrow of only 45. Here's the key, though, for tomorrow. The north winds are going to be blowing so strong. We could see sustained winds up to 25 miles an hour from the north. Even though our temperature might make it to 45, the wind chills will stay in the teens and 20s throughout the day. Wednesday, we're having a high of only 32 degrees. Little chance of a light flurry on Wednesday as well, which means basically from late Tuesday all the way through early to mid-Thursday morning, we could be at or below freezing. Record lows are probable Tuesday night and Wednesday night. As you can see, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, a low 14 degrees.
Wow.
Old Man Winter is back, and he's taking names over the next 3 days. So enjoy today, basically. That's the key word.
Freezing temperatures and taking names.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, this weekend was full of a lot of community events, and several of us 48 News anchors had the opportunity to participate in some of the celebrations.
Well, let's begin at Parisians. Employees at Parkway Place in Huntsville honored Black History Month. Theme was coming together and sharing our culture. Saturday's event featured African dancing from the Saba International Performing Arts Company, plus students from Alabama A&M and Oakwood College sang inspirational songs. 48 News anchor Kimberly Essick was mistress of ceremonies for the weekend event.
And awards were presented to those who made outstanding contributions for rural or low-income children Friday night. Presentations were made during the annual Whitney M. Young Junior Service Awards dinner. Guest speaker was Major General Julian Sullivan, a former Redstone Arsenal commander, and Varian Walton. Doesn't she look nice? Joined the festivities as the MC. Also in attendance, 300 Boy Scouts for Scout Reach 2002.
The 7th annual Designers Against Breast Cancer fashion show was also this weekend. The event sponsored by the Huntsville Council of Fashion Designers.
Local fashion designers and retailers were on hand to show off their latest collection. All the proceeds from the auction and the ticket sales for the big extravaganza will go toward the Christy Thomas Breast Cancer Foundation, and that's where I was Saturday night. And then last night I did the Festival of Spirituals at Oakwood College. Oh man, Alabama A&M, Oakwood, the Tennessee State, Alabama State, all the college choirs came together. Very powerful. Talk about surround sound when all those choirs get in there. It's great.
Busy weekend.
When 48 News Today continues, the father of a murdered son finds himself in trouble with the law.
Will he or won't he? Limestone County Sheriff Mike Blakely will announce today if he's running for re-election. We'll tell you what he's expected to say. It is 16 minutes after the hour, 41 degrees. We're back in a couple on a Monday.